Sea of Stars is a game that I really just did not expect to like. But I'm happy to report that it is an amazing game and is something that's absolutely worth checking out. And this is coming from a person who never really enjoys this style of game. So, if you don't know what Sea of Stars is, it is an indie developed game that is a turn based RPG. So, something that you could compare to this would be the old Final Fantasy games, Pokemon, maybe even Temtem. And my only experience with turn based RPGs in the past were Pokemon and Temtem. So, coming into Sea of Stars, I was not expecting really to have much fun with it. But the game just launched on PlayStation Plus Extra Game Catalog the first day that this game dropped. And you can also get this game on Switch, Xbox, and PC for about $35. So the game is not a full price game, but it is a very polished game. And we're going to get into the details of why I think this is such an awesome game. There's many reasons. There's not many gripes that I have with it at all. There is going to be a lot we talk about today, but I figure we'll go ahead and start with, the beginning of the game and like what I liked and didn't like of the game. So my first impressions of this game were not so hot. There was a lot of dialogue, stuff that's not voiced that you have to read, that you can't skip. And at first that was kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie, because I wanted to see what the gameplay was like. And little did I know, I was sleeping on the story because the characters are freaking amazing. I mean, you start out with this brother and this sister. One has fire abilities, one has ice abilities, or moon abilities, because they're sun and moon. So basically, this is Pokemon Sun and Moon at its full potential. Because Sea of Stars is so much better than Pokemon Sun and Moon were, in my opinion. Those games, they have nostalgia because they're Pokemon, but Sea of Stars is something completely new. And if this got me hooked, that means it's really good. So I've played, as of this review, about, 5 to 10 hours of this game, probably. My first hour, I wasn't fully engaged, I will say. It took about 50 minutes for me to get to the point where I was able to just go out and do what I wanted to do. And I wasn't being walked through tutorials. And that's when the game got so fun. The combat in this game may be turn-based, but it is not, as simple as click a button and it's over. There's certain attacks, such as the Moonerang, to where you have to basically play Pong with the person, and you can either have 1 or 2 hits, or you can get as many as 25 or more hits with that one attack, and it does massive damage. Because you have to time when the boomerang comes back and like deflect it. So that is the thing about combat. It's not just turn-based simplicity where you get bored easily. Select the same attack over and over, you know what's going to happen. There, of course, are like weaknesses and resistances that you have to take into account with all the different enemies. But it's the timing of your attacks that really make this interesting. You will sometimes have an opportunity to do double damage or something that just makes the attack better if you can time when you hit the attack. So you press X to hit the attack. If you can press X again right as the attack lands, then you might do double damage or something else. It just depends on what the attack is. And then there'll be other attacks where you have to charge them up, and if you release them at the perfect time, it will do extra damage. And when an enemy attacks you, if you basically deflect right as the attack hits you, you can reduce the damage. So it's really, really, really cool. And then on top of that, when you're fighting an enemy, sometimes they will be charging up like a special attack, and it'll show these locks. So if you use a certain combo of attacks before that ability is fully charged, you can cancel that ability. It's really surprising to me, because I was just expecting, I honestly don't know what I was expecting. I just assumed turn-based wasn't for me. I hadn't really ever given the genre a chance outside of Pokemon. And I was wrong. And I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of people that are in this same boat. when you get a very well crafted game like this, it doesn't have any problems, and then you really give turn-based RPG a try, you might like it, especially if you're used to RPGs already. Switching to something that's turn-based, it's a little startling at first, but it's very relaxing. You don't have to worry about, combat being non-stop and you never getting a break. You can throw the controller down at any time and nothing will happen. If you need to go to the bathroom, cook some food, answer a phone call, send a text, whatever, you don't have to worry about it because it's turn-based. And it's very nice to have a game like this to where you're not constantly stressed out by dying over and over because you messed up this or that. This game is not super easy, but it's forgiving, and there are ways to make the game easier. There's not difficulty levels, but there's basically these like multiplier type things that can make certain enemies easier. They'll add all sorts of things that just make the game easier, and it's your choice whether or not you want to turn those on or off. So if you only want some assistance, you can turn on some of them. If you want all of them to make the game all story based, go for it. Or if you want to leave them all off, you can have a very difficult game. I was dying pretty early on in the game. It's not forgiving if you don't really pay attention to how you do your attacks. You have to make sure you're attacking with the right, magic or physical. You have different party members that all have different abilities. You can do duo attacks if you build up a combo meter, and you have to wait for your magic to recharge. Your health can go down. You can take items. There's all sorts of things to take into account. It stays interesting, and the story is actually really good if you give it a chance. After I got through the tutorial and I had some fun, I was playing around, I didn't mind the dialogue so much anymore because I had a choice to actually do the gameplay finally. But I was realizing, as I slowly read this dialogue, this is actually funny sometimes, or this is an interesting story. You didn't expect that, especially from a game that has no voice. So if they're able to tell a story that's purely written and animated, they're doing something that's challenging, and they're doing it well in Sea of Stars. So another thing I would like to touch on is the fact that although you have multiple party members, this game isn't co-op, so don't get that in your head that you're going to be able to play this with friends. You basically have a main party leader that you can switch at any time to any of the other characters, and so far I've only had as many as 3 party members, but you can definitely get more, and I'm excited to see what these other ones are like and all the different combinations of attacks that you can have. But it's going to take a while to get through all that. I would say this is a fairly linear game, but there are exploration parts where you can go to different areas, discover something that might be hidden, and there are a lot of puzzles in this game, which, if you know anything about me, you know that I really just enjoy puzzles. They're satisfying because they take a lot of effort to complete. Now, there'll be side quests and mini games, such as this one you see on screen right now. I didn't really like the game, but the puzzles, I haven't found a puzzle yet that I did not like. You might play something like Zelda to where, there's these really intricate puzzles, and you might look at something like Sea of Stars there's no way it can compete with a big 3D style game. But I'll tell you now, puzzles in this game are good. It took a while for me to get to the point where I could solve some of them, because you'll unlock certain abilities that allow you to do things like blow gigantic blocks of crystals to activate certain things, and you're not able to do that at first. But once you get to the point where you can do that, and surely many other things that I've yet to even get to, it really just starts to settle in, and you realize, wow, this game's puzzles are pretty good. And another thing that I really, really, really just love about this game are the environments. There's so many different places that I've been to already that just are so gorgeous and very, very fun to explore. Each different, biome has different types of enemies who you're going to have to adapt to and figure out how to best defeat them. And you know, the different colors and just how visually stunning this is. It's really great. You can play it in 4K. It looks glorious. Don't expect it to be, you know, the best looking game you've ever played. It is just an 8-bit, you know, 2D turn-based RPG after all. But I will say it's one of the best looking games of that type. And I would say one of my favorite things of all about this game is the sound, for many reasons. The music in this game is so freaking good. So in between, you know, doing things, you'll run into campfires, and you can rest there to restore your health and your magic points. But as you exit the rest, this sound plays, this tune. It's very peaceful. It goes like, dun-dun-dun-dun. I loved it so much that I took the time to turn it into my damn ringtone. It's like the most calming and chill sound ever. And that's just one of many sounds in this game. Like every single little thing that you do, the game just makes very cool sounds that like I can't help but love. And then on top of that, the music is absolutely amazing. Like it just, the vibes of this game are untouched almost. Like there's not many games that really just pull you into their world like this, especially such simple games. So I could really recommend Sea of Stars in a heartbeat, especially if you got PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium and you have access to the game catalog. Go download the game right now. I mean, why not? It's included. Now, if you're like me and you don't usually play turn-based RPGs, you may be very hesitant, but I'm telling you now, give it a chance. There's a lot of great things about this. So yeah, that's my little mini review from where I've made it in the game so far. Comment below, let me know what you're thinking of Sea of Stars. If you're into turn-based RPGs, this might be the game for you. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe. Catch you in another video soon. Peace out, people.